Just so a record exists, this is actually from the CBS All Access YouTube channel. This video is no longer on the All Access channel. I just checked a couple seconds ago. I don't know if it got removed, if they removed it, or if it was limited for only a certain amount of time, but it has been removed, and this review will reflect that going forward. Hey everybody, Paranormal Video Gamer here, and this is going to serve as my review for Star Trek Picard. Now, I know a lot of people have reservations about a new Star Trek series. I've been a big fan of Star Trek for a very long time. I was a little nervous after Discovery because, I'm sorry, I'm not a big Discovery fan. I've seen every single episode currently of Discovery. It's not the cast, it's more or less the actual story and the overall presence of the Star Trek universe itself. I do not like the way the Klingons look. I understand that they decided that they wanted to do a backstory that they have not evolved to what the current Klingons in the time frame that I'm used to seeing have become. Basically, they've evolved into what they are right now in the normal Star Trek, Next Generation, Voyager, all that kind of stuff timeline. I don't like Discovery also because I feel like Discovery is kind of like a backstep to Star Trek in general, and I kind of feel like it isn't the same type of Star Trek that I grew to love, like with Next Generation, more so Deep Space Nine. I love Deep Space Nine. It is by far my favorite Star Trek, probably will be my favorite Star Trek for a while, but I have to say, Star Trek Picard, being a fan, I respect, because even though it's in the J.J. Abrams timeline according to the story, which I won't spoil the whole story, but know that you find out that it's within the time frame of that particular story. And it's cool. The way that they kind of played it off and kind of made it the way it is very cool. I actually was very happy to see Patrick Stewart, returning as Captain Picard. I watched the first episode a couple days ago, maybe about a week ago, when it first premiered. I didn't get a chance to watch it right off the bat, but I did watch it probably about maybe 6-8 hours after it premiered. I didn't get a chance to actually watch it at that second. So a lot of people probably have higher reviews than I do because, they got a chance to see it before I could, because I normally don't have CBS All Access, and I'm grateful that a good friend of mine let me, watch it with him. And after watching it the first time, I saw it, I was like, okay, I can understand this. This is interesting. This is a very interesting concept. And I just watched it again. I wanted to watch it a second time because I wanted to see the things that I may have missed in the very first play or watch that I took part of. And surprisingly, there were some things that I kind of didn't pick up, or if I did pick up, I didn't really think that they were central to the story. And I watched it again. I understand a little bit more clearly now than when I first watched it, because my buddy was talking to me the whole time that we're watching it and whatnot. And he's even a bigger Star Trek fan than me. So I watched it again, and this time I really concentrated on the story of the overall production of what they're trying to do. and I greatly respect what they're trying to do. Captain Picard is old. Data is dead. They wanted to incorporate both of those in a way that made the show fun, edgy, and very... I'm trying to think of the right word. Very loving to Star Trek in general. Not to say that J.J. Abrams' films were not built in a loving way, but J.J. Abrams, from what I was reading, has never been a Star Trek fan. He's always been a Star Wars fan, and that's why he immediately jumped on Star Wars. I personally think that the Star Trek universe is better without the J.J. Abrams timeline in general, because I feel like there's supposed to be certain enemies in Star Trek, like the Borg, for example. The Borg, I personally think should be inherently evil, because they want to dominate everybody, and I think that is the coolest thing that you could ever say about Star Trek. They have an actual species that wants to dominate everybody and doesn't care whether or not that they want to be part of their society. They're automatically made into their society. But to get back here on point with Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Picard is the spirit of what Gene Roddenberry envisioned. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the timeline that they've chosen, but I understand why they chose the timeline, because they wanted to continue where the films left off. With Discovery, it's a little different. I kind of feel like, again, it's a step back from Star Trek. Again, it's not the cast's fault. It's more of the story writing aspect that I don't really like. But with Star Trek Picard, I don't feel that. I feel like that they sat down, they said, okay, well, this doesn't make sense, but we could put this and make it a little bit better of a sense. And I do think that they really tried really hard to incorporate, trying to make it where you understood it, but you're kind of like, okay. Okay. And I do appreciate what they were trying to do. If I had to give it a rating system currently, based on the first episode that I've seen, and today, the second episode is going to drop. I'm going to do what I can to watch it, but for that first episode, that premiere episode, I'm going to say that Star Trek Picard is a solid 7 out of 10. I am actually looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this particular storyline, how it's going to be incorporated with the captain getting back onto his ship. I'm actually looking forward to this, because for the first time in a long time, I feel like they nailed the overall aesthetics of what Star Trek was meant to be, and that's exploration. Not necessarily violence, and there is a lot of action, but it's not over-the-top action. It's not, 15 seconds into the story, you get this huge action sequence that lasts for 4 days. They did it really well. The sequences for action were mixed in with the storyline, which makes it feel very Star Trek-y. And I don't say that lightly, because again, I am a Star Trek fan. I've been a fan for probably, since before The Next Generation. I started actually watching the original Star Trek with my brother. And this is years after Star Trek was off the air. Probably in the late 80s, I'm going to say. Maybe early 90s. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old when I saw my first Star Trek. So that's how long I've been actually watching it. And then I saw Next Generation when that came out. And every week that, I was able to watch it on TV, I was right in front of the TV watching Picard and all of them, And so I have that good memory of watching them on TV and then being able to come back 20 some odd years later and being able to watch it again and seeing that. So it's kind of cool. But the one thing that I am kind of sad about is that CBS All Access on YouTube decided to remove the preview episode, and I don't know why that was done. I'm assuming it was limited to only a certain amount of time for people to watch, and I got a chance to watch it, so I'm grateful on that end. But again, I'm going to show this particular video that shows that reflects it, that I got a chance to watch it on YouTube, but I don't know why it's not pulling up. Again, I think it was maybe a limited thing where they only had like maybe 8 hours to allow people to watch it, and if you got a chance to watch it, cool. If you didn't, it sucks that they want you to pay for CBS All Access to be able to watch the Star Trek Picard, but I understand it is a business and they got to make money, and they spent a lot of money probably trying to get Patrick Stewart to come back. So, but my review still stands 7 out of 10. I think they did a really good job, and I'm really excited to see what they have for the future. So hopefully you guys understand my position and my opinion. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later on. As soon as episode 2, as soon as I get a chance to watch the second episode, I will do so, and I will do another review. So, bye everybody.